Hello, welcome to episode 2 of Christianity for Doubters, Christian Psychotechnology. So, if you're new to my channel, I am Robert Mitchell. I am an author, a martial artist, a seminarian, and a deacon in the Old Catholic tradition. On Sundays, I make religion videos, and on Wednesday, I make martial arts videos. So, I want to begin with a couple quick things. So, first of all, there are going to be 10 videos in this series. They're going to be, it's a 10 video arc. Each one's going to be roughly 20 to maybe 30 minutes, maybe a little more, tops. And we're building up to the 10th one, which is going to be a real doozy. This video, by the way, Christian Psychotechnology, is going to wrap up with the definition of wisdom. What is wisdom? And the relationship between Christian psychotechnology and wisdom. Also, I want to make another little announcement, and that is that I'm starting something new with this video, and that is the secret code. What's that for? Well, not all of the people who comment on my videos are as dedicated as Lizard Girl. That's a little plug for you, Lizard Girl. Thanks for your comments, and your support. But the problem is that a lot of people who comment are not actually watching the videos. These are people who just don't like the subject of the video or maybe something like that, and they just comment. I'm convinced there's quite a few of them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start embedding a secret code somewhere in the video. And if you do not know that code when you comment on the video, then I'll know that you didn't watch the video. So if you comment and you do not use the secret code, unless you're a fan like Lizard Girl and I know you by name, then I'm just not going to comment, because the comments are starting to get more and more and more, and I get a lot of negativity. So let's go ahead and begin, and let's talk about this. So, Christian psychotechnology. This idea of psychotechnology is a word that I'm borrowing, and this comes from John Vervaeke. And I mentioned John Vervaeke in the last video. His series, Awakening from the Meaning Crisis, is really, really good. And I hope I laid out for you pretty reasonably in the last video why we really, really need wisdom, why we need wisdom today. But John uses the term psychotechnology for things like religion because it accesses, like psychology, the mind. It accesses and it elevates the mind in the same way that technology allows you to get things done in the world, like say you make a wheel so you can move things faster from city to city or place to place. Then the technology of the mind, the psychotechnology, helps you move ideas around and get more done with them. So the first thing is that this psychotechnology accesses the mind. But you need to first understand that your mind is not what you think it is. And so your mind, you want to imagine yourself like Plankton in the SpongeBob episode where he's inside SpongeBob's head with the levers, moving them around like an automaton. So, you want to believe that your mind is controlling your body and that you're in total control and that your will is iron and so forth. But that's just not true. That's not what happens. And I can prove it to you. And you know this to be true because of cat videos. Yes, it's true. Cat videos are proof that you aren't what you think you are. So what happens is that you say to yourself, you're at the office and you're working, and you say, tonight when I get off from work, I'm going to do something constructive with my life. After dinner, I'm going to play guitar, and then for a half an hour, and then I'm going to read that really pithy book that I know I should read. And then what happens is that you end up working a little bit late and you get over hungry. And then you get home and you had intended to eat a healthy meal, play your guitar, and read that book. But because you worked late, you're starving to death. And then when you get home, you don't really feel like cooking for, an hour before you can sit down and eat. And so what do? You order a pizza. And then the pizza comes, and it's salty, greasy, and delicious, and you eat half of it. Then after you eat it, the stress of digesting all that lard that you consumed makes you feel lethargic, and so then you decide just to watch TV for a few minutes and kind of regroup. And then what happens is that 10:30 you realize that haven't done a single constructive thing all evening. You ate crap, and now you have to go to bed because you have to get up at 6:30 to go to work. Cat videos. So, what did you do constructive with your night? You sat on YouTube and watched cat videos or plopped in front of the television. You also know this because you get addicted to things. You get addicted to your caffeine, you get addicted to your alcohol, you get addicted to your tobacco, your nicotine, and so forth, and you want to stop doing them, but you can't help it. You have relationships with people you know you should sever, and you cannot get away from them. All the things that people do. And so you do stuff that you shouldn't do, and then you say stuff you shouldn't say. You do this all the time. I've done it a million times, and I still do. I try really hard not to, but I can't help it. I say stupid stuff, and I do stupid stuff. Also, you need to understand that your nervous system is distributed across your body, and so you're not just this brain. You're not just this controller. So you have to understand you are your nervous system. And in addition to the nervous system, your nervous system is like you touch something hot, oh, and it's hot, and then you pull back. You don't think about pulling back. You automatically pull back. How many times have you dropped a can of soup and then quick pulled your foot back without even thinking about it? So you are also your nervous system. You also have desires that you can't deny. And so those are things like hunger, which you react to that. You have sex, hunger, sex. You have your nervous system. What else did I put down on my list here? Oh yeah, and then obviously you can catch things too. That's another form of reaction that's pretty complicated. And then throwing things to hit targets. So all that stuff between your body, your mind, your nervous system, and all that, and your reflexes. There are parts of you cannot access. Now what I mean by that is that there are the mystery portions of your subconscious that you cannot get to. You cannot weed out the desire, the natural desire for sex. You can't weed out hunger. You can't weed out your fascination with shiny objects. Closeness, sociability, all those things, they're in you, and it's very hard to control these things. The Christian psychotechnology, well, all psychotechnologies, access these parts of your body using methods that we don't fully understand. We just seem to know that they kind of seem to work, but we'll get to that a little more later. So, exactly what are you? So what does this mean? If you're not the controller at the controls that steers this body perfectly, then what exactly are you? Well, I have an analogy for you. You're a whale. You're a big animal. Now, I'll get back to that. But Jonathan Haidt is a guy who writes books and talks on the web and is a university professor and talks about all kinds of stuff. But Jonathan Haidt, founder of Heterodox Academy, all that stuff. Jonathan Haidt describes this as the elephant and the rider. And so we may not be at the helm of the controls like the same way that you are when you operate your automobile. The mind doesn't control the body to that extent. You need to think of your mind as the rider on the elephant. And so you can direct the elephant a little bit, but if you're not careful, the elephant does what it wants. The elephant decides it wants to eat half a pizza and watch stupid cat videos instead of eat a healthy meal, play guitar, and read that really pithy book. But deeper than that, I would say you are a whale. And what I mean by that is whales sing songs. And if you've ever watched a documentary about how whales sing these incredible songs that take hours and hours and days to sing, and they subtly change them across time, and they vary from pod to pod and all that. And those things evolved as part of the whale. You cannot tell the whale not to sing the song. You cannot tell salmon not to swim upstream and spawn. You cannot tell birds not to migrate or butterflies not to migrate. These are not, they're somewhere else, these things. And so the atheist is the person who is the whale screaming at the other whales. These songs are stupid. Stop singing these stupid songs. They're pointless. You can't prove it's real and so forth. But it's in there. And across the millennia, we begin with humanity in the cave, and the man goes into the cave. The men and women go into the cave, and then they right encircle their hands. They spit the dye from their mouths. They chew the berries, and then they spray with their mouth onto the cave wall the shape of their hand, and they proclaim their humanity in the darkness of the caves of Lascaux tens of thousands of years ago, and they make little flutes, and they bury their dead with trinkets. And that's where it begins, and it comes all the way up to the modern psychotechnology of the more elevated, say elevated, that might be the right word, but the more complex and modern religions. These are psychotechnologies. The human animal, and we won't go off on a tangent on this, but just a little bit more about the fact that you're a whale that sings songs. This religion thing, this psychotechnology, is so deeply ingrained in you that it is part of the offloading. It's the software that's the secret to operating the human being. So we have one of the longest adolescence of any living creature. And the reason for that is that we have so much to get done. It's so complicated being a person that we've offloaded a lot of this into the culture and into the religions, which are the psychotechnology that teach you how to access all this stuff and how to be a person. Okay? So what are you then? You are a whale, all right? But more than that, you are a meaning maker, all right? So you are a meaning maker. When you look out into the world, you see a chair, you don't see a solid object with opposing planar surfaces. You see a thing to sit in. When you see a fork, you don't think, well, I could really comb my hair with that. I mean, not unless you're the Little Mermaid anyway. You see it as thing to eat with. So everything that you see becomes something to make meaning with. to some extent, there is a method here of restriction. Now, what I mean by that is that there's a lot of data in the world. There's tons of information coming at you, and your entire consciousness is designed to restrict that information to only what is meaningful. All right, so case in point, there is a wide range of light in the universe and energy, but you can only see a narrow band of that energy. So there's plenty of light. You can't see gamma rays, until they turn Bruce Banner into the Hulk. Anyway, you can't see gamma rays, but you can't see heat. You can maybe see the ripples it makes in the air when it makes things ripple, but there's lots of things you can't see, and there's lots of things you can't hear. Your dog can hear more. That's why dog whistles work. What else? You can only touch certain ranges. At certain heat levels, it just burns your skin. There's no touch there. Extreme hot and extreme cold have the same sensation. They both burn. So you are a restrictor. Your consciousness is a restrictor because there's too much information coming in the world. If you had access to everything, then you would have access to nothing. You would do nothing. This is the whole idea of analysis paralysis, where you access so much data and information that you don't actually do anything. So consciousness is a delimiter that allows you to get things done. Now, I can prove to this why this is true, because restriction breeds creativity. Or, as somebody famous said, I think it might have been, was it Ben Franklin? Anyway, I can't remember. But necessity is the mother of invention. And so, you may have taken an art class. I'm certain you were in kindergarten, and the teacher comes to you and says, I would like for you to paint a picture with just 2 colors. Or I would like for you to draw something but only with straight lines. These restrictions cause you to come up with new ideas, and it's the restriction that breeds the creativity. And the classic example is, you can prove this by saying, let's play a game. And the other person says, great idea. And then you look back and say, okay, cool. You go first. And then the person goes, go first? What are the rules? Exactly. There have to be rules in order for there to be a game. There have to be rules in order for there to be a game. The Psychotechnology creates the rule book so that you can play. All right. So, what is meaning? Meaning, John Vervaeke's idea, which I think is spot on, is the up-to-date, current understanding, cognitive scientific understanding of what knowing is. There are 4 P's. We're going to credit John Vervaeke with this. 4 P's. What are the 4 P's of knowing? This is the discovery of meaning. What are the 4 P's? So the 4 P's are procedural knowing. And I went over these last time briefly. The procedural, the perspectival, okay, the participatory, and finally, the procedural. I'm sorry. The propositional. The perspectival, the participatory, and the procedural. So, the best example of that is a baseball game. So, propositionally, that's the definition of baseball. So we could say one way of understanding baseball is propositionally. Baseball is a game played on a field using a bat and a ball and two opposing teams. Okay? You can understand baseball perspectively, which means that each individual person has their own perspective on what a baseball game is. So to you, baseball might be the thing you watch on TV while you hang out with your friends and eat hot wings. But if you ask the commissioner of baseball, what is baseball? He might say, the thing that gives me prestige and makes me a lot of money. I don't know, but everyone has a different perspective on baseball. Then there's the participatory. To a certain extent, only the baseball player understands fully what baseball is. And furthermore, there are different levels of play. So what a baseball game is perspectively to, let's say, Randy Johnson, or one of the greatest baseball players, pitchers, or hitters of all time, as compared to what baseball means to me perspectively as a little kid who played some baseball when they were young. That's totally different. And then there's a procedural way of understanding baseball, which is, of course, the way the umpire understands baseball. And the umpire understands it in a way that no one really can until he's actually judged a game and stood there and said, this is a strike, and this is a ball, and this is an out, and this is safe, and all the things, this is a foul, and all those sorts of things. So there are those four ways, or the four primary ways, that we try to make sense out of what's going on. Now, one might say that if you could understand baseball propositionally, perspectively, participatory, and procedural, then you might be wise with regard to baseball. All right? Now, this is why I have a problem with atheism, because I think atheism analyzes, generally speaking, Christianity and religion in general only from the propositional standpoint. An atheist has never participated in a religion. An atheist has never been involved in the procedural work of the religion, the rituals and the activities, the social activities, the the philanthropy and all that sorts of things. It's never developed any sort of perspectival relationship with it. It is strictly propositional and therefore unwise and therefore nearsighted. That's just my opinion. Now, meaning making is all four of these things together towards some form of wisdom. So, what is Christian psychotechnology? Christian psychotechnology is a group of ideas and concepts which seeks to unite all of these together into a system. And when you put all that together, it results in something called integrity. So when you have integrity, then you have united your thoughts, your desires, your actions, and your beliefs. Now, integrity is the unification of your thoughts, desires, and actions and beliefs. Now, we're going to go back here. I'm going to clear the board because I have to wrap up this video with something that I think you're going to appreciate. I certainly hope that you're going to appreciate. And I don't want to erase anything super important that you might find valuable, but you can always back up the video, I guess. So, just going to go ahead and come to here. Okay. So, it turns out that this Christian psychotechnology uses a very powerful symbol. And that's a cross. As we discussed at the beginning, there's too much information. There's too much information. Consciousness is a restrictor. In symbols, a picture is worth 1,000 words. The symbol gives you the key to understanding things quickly and easily without having to go through analysis paralysis of all this data that's coming at you. And so, if you look at this symbol, there's no denying that the cross is the most pervasive symbol in the history of humankind. And I think it's because it corresponds to a compass rose. And these things lay out quite well upon this. So we'll take John Vervaeke's 4 ways of knowing. The propositional, the perspectival, the participatory, and the procedural. And they map out on this thing very, very, very well. Quite well, in fact. Now, in Christianity, then we also use this cross. And this is the cross that corresponds to a number of different things. We're going to get to some of those later on in the series. But we can say that Christianity has certain propositional information. It has the creed. I believe in God the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his Son, our Lord, etc. Right? It has the creed, which is propositionally what Christianity is. It also has the perspectival, which is like the prayers. And so, every night you say your prayers before bed, and so there's this idea that you have your personal perspective on what God is and who God is and your interaction with God, and then that evolves across time. There's the very childlike way of prayer, and then there are more grown-up ways of prayer. But they're all in this sort of personal perspective on this thing. And then you get to the participatory. And so this is the social work. This is the social aspect. So it's the church potluck dinner. It's gathering clothes for the homeless. It's ministering to the sick and the elderly and all that sort of stuff. So it's the participatory way of accessing. All right? And then the final thing are the abstentions and the rules. So, just like the umpire knows the rules. So there's things that you do, and then there's things that you don't do. And then there are beliefs that you hold in your mind, and then there are beliefs that you hold in your belly, down here. And you cross yourself, and that crossing symbolizes the unification of these things. It symbolizes your integrity. And this Symbolism is the psychotechnology that allows you to fully access and integrate the invisible parts of your body, of your mind, and your soul. And so you know that this invisible part exists. You've seen it. I explained it at the beginning. You watch stupid cat videos. You eat things you shouldn't eat. You do things you shouldn't do. And you say things you shouldn't say. But maybe if you hold certain beliefs and you participate and then you establish a personal relationship and then you follow the rules, you can access the secret mystery. It gives you an entry into this. And so what I'm saying to you is that in the end, wisdom is behaving with, by the way, the secret code is B737. Wisdom is behaving with integrity. Maybe you didn't hear that. I'm going to say it one more time without looking at the camera, that the secret code is B737. Wisdom is behaving with integrity, and it is the unification of your thoughts, your desires, your actions, and your beliefs. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Next time, we're going to get into Christian myth-busting and how this might not jibe with the way that you see Christianity, and a lot of people see Christianity a lot of different ways. So, and there's a million sects of Christianity. So we need to talk about those sects, S-E-C-T-S, of Christianity. And we need to talk a little bit about myth-busting, some of the common misconceptions about what Christianity is and is not. Thanks for watching.